What's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about how to never fall off, and I just wanted to have like a discussion. So I would like to hear you guys' opinions in the comments and your responses as well. But this is the type of stuff that I think about, and so the topic is how to never fall off. As a producer or a rapper, artist, anything really, this is like life advice. Not really advice, but this is what I'd be thinking about. So I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion too. This is a discussion. And so really how I feel is, to be honest, the whole world and the whole artist, just all the attention is on clout or getting attention, right? And what I've been reading about and what I've thought about is that there's actually an alternative to clout that actually equals success, because clout is fake success. It's not real. But I've been reading a book called The 4-Hour Work Week, and I've heard of this principle and this law in like a bunch of different circumstances in a bunch of different places. But there's this law, it's not really a law. It's just this observation that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions, or 20% of the causes that you're doing. So when you do something, when you do a cause, then there's a result, right? So 80% of your total results, that could be income, that could be followers, that could be health changes in your body. Like 80% of them are going to come from 20% of the actions that you took. And this is like a variable kind of thing. So it can even be more skewed than that. It can be 90% comes from 10% of your actions, or 99% comes from 1% of your actions. And let me go ahead and explain like examples. For example, on my channel, if I look at my videos, I have almost 4 million views. The large majority of my views, let's say 80%, is going to come from a few of my videos, like my Eastbound tutorial, my Gummo remake. That has almost 1 million views in itself, right? It has 800,000. So think about it this way. If I have 4 million views and one of my videos has 25% of my views, and I have, I think, 80 videos. No. I privated a lot of videos, so I think I have like definitely over 50. For sure. If one of my videos has a quarter of my views, right? This is like an example of how this works. So what this really means is that whatever is working, you can double down on that and reap more rewards. So for example, if I wanted to get way more views, what the logical thing to do is to make another remake, like another beat remake, like the ones where I have the keyboard out, because those are getting the large majority of my views. Now here's the thing. I wanted to talk about what I think about clout and attention and all that stuff. And it seems like that's the route to success. It seems like the more eyes you got on yourself, the more you can spread your product, your message, your music. But that's false, guys. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. And the reason why I think that it's not going to equal success is because of this rule, but also because of the fact that most of this attention nowadays is so little value, so valueless. So think about all these artists that are on top right now. Like, they weren't even around 2 years ago, and it's been like that forever. Like, artists' lifespans seem to be getting shorter. Am I right? I thought about this, and I was talking to a rapper friend of mine, and we were discussing like the social media age and whatever. And what I think and what I thought is that all this clout and these followers, these big numbers that we see, it's an illusion. It's just these numbers. It's really just a bunch of accounts. You know what I'm saying? And with the attention span getting smaller and smaller, what's going on is that if you're basing your whole career based on trying to get as many views and fans as you can and not focusing on the 20% that's your real, authentic, true fans, then what's going to happen is you're going to have these 2-year careers that you see all the time. Because just like I said, the attention span is short. A real connection with a supporter or somebody that connects to you and your music, it lasts a lifetime. For example, I was looking at, a friend sent me this song to remix, sample, and it was this old band. I think it was called, I forgot what it's called. It was called something in Oats, and it had a lot of views on it, but it was like an old song. And I was looking it up so I could go ahead and download it or try to rip it off the internet, and so I could get a high quality version to sample. And I just saw it, and this band is still on tour to this date. The reason why is because you're always going to have a real fan base. You're always going to have that 2 to 5% of people that are your consistent and loyal fans and fans of you, no matter what phase you're going through, right? And what you're doing. And they're going to be the largest they'll be the largest spenders. They'll buy more than just your music. They'll buy your merch. They'll buy whatever it is that you put out that is authentic, like that's true to you, because they're a fan of you and your story, right? And to bring this back to this 80-20 rule or 90-10, whatever it may come out to be for your specific case, in the book The 4-Hour Work Week, the author was talking about how he had a business. He had this company and he was making $30K a month, but he had to constantly he was constantly trying to acquire new clients, and he had something like 80 clients for his business or whatever, and some of them would do recurring purchases and stuff. And so this could be, in the case of a musician, this could be your fans that buy multiple albums, you know what I mean? And then some of them would just be a one-time thing, and he would be focused on trying to acquire them instead of focusing on, there was like, I think 2 or 3 huge companies in his business that were doing the most income for him and that were repeat customers. They were easy to deal with and they didn't have to be convinced. They actually were a good fit for the product. And so once he started focusing his attention on, basically in this case it would be like the 2%, and really trying to maximize his relationship with them and focusing on people that can be the 2%, he went from 80 customers to only, I think it was 8. And previously with 80 customers, he was making like $30K a month. With 8, he was making $60K because these were easy to deal with. Not only easy, but people that were loyal companies that were buying from his business or whatever. This just shows when you double down on your authentic fans and on your authentic self and really try to do what's most authentic to you and not try to get everyone's attention, not try to appeal to everyone in the crowd, then what's going to happen is you're going to find real success and maybe not popularity and like be in the limelight, but you're going to be just fine, just like that band that's still touring to this date. I don't know if you'd rather be a rapper that has a bunch of short-term fans, like a million, like short-term fans, like really popping on social media, right? Or would you rather be the artist that just does what's authentic to them, that does their own sound, and maybe has, let's say, 100 fans, 100 real fans that buy everything? They'll actually buy an album, you know what I mean? This is why you see these artists or people on social media that have that huge presence, that seem like they're famous, but like I said, clout is not, it's not fame. It's a trick. It's a distraction, and it's just, I don't know, it's like it's fake, and it seems real. This is why I thought it would be good to make this video, because I feel like we need to be more authentic. But if you get those 100 fans that buy everything that you put out, and they'll buy t-shirts, and let's say each of those 100 customers spends $100, then you're making 10,000 in a month, right? Instead of a million fans that look at you and look at your page and stream your music, and then you make like 2,000. I think a million plays on Spotify. It's like 2 to 6,000 actually. So like 5,000. You see what I mean? And so what this requires is that you just focus on your story and being authentic as possible, and just doing what's true to you, and not focusing on that mass attention, and not signing to labels, especially if you can do everything that they are offering yourself, because what they're saying is that you're valuable, and so they want to sign you. But if you can find your 50 authentic fans, like your real diehard fans, and you can tap into that, you'll be better off than the guy that has 5 million, and when he drops an album he gets like 10,000 sales, and it's not real sales nowadays, it's streams, and they convert it to sales. And the last thing I wanted to say, don't be a wave rider. Don't ride the wave, especially don't feel like you have to follow the trends of today. That's how I feel, because the people that started these waves are the people that have these authentic followings, but these are the real legends. So look at all these artists that have dreads, dye their hair. Let's call that a trend, and let's try to go back and see who really started that. If you really saw the guy who started it, it would be some guy that's really being authentic, and like he had to be a weirdo. He had to be different. He thought it was cool, you know? And then in turn, he influenced somebody else, and that influenced somebody else. But he's the real wave creator. He's deep below the surface. Meanwhile, everyone else is on top on the waves, and on top it seems so glorious, but it's shaky. Like I said, that's why these artists and these celebrities, and they're not real celebrities, but unfortunately that's what it seems like. And it seems glorious, but those are just the wave riders. They come and they go. But the people that were under the surface that's creating the waves, they were the authentic, iconic trendsetters. And you may not know about them on a mass scale, or you may, but they're just low key. They're not up on the surface, just flexing, stunting, whatever people do on social media. Here's the thing: when you're being authentic and you got your 200 fans, you don't have to worry about falling off, you know, because those are people that are with you for life, that's supporting your career, your creativity. Those are not people that are supporting your image, and that come and go with your image and your limelight. And what labels do is they set you up to be in the limelight. So it seems like that's what you want, but what you want is that authentic core fan base, because what can happen is that you could be thriving off your fan base, off your 50 to 100 fans, maybe getting like 2 real fans per month, like real fans. I'm not talking followers on SoundCloud, like people that really fuck with you for who you are and what you're putting out. And then you could have that and be below the surface. And then 1 month you may be in the limelight, but once you're out of the limelight in that 2 year, after that 2 year span, you're still set, and you may have acquired even more real fans. But the thing is, don't get attached to it. You're gonna get messed over if you get too attached to that limelight, or if you think that's where you need to do, or if you think you need a certain amount of followers to start doing shows, start doing something that you really want to do in your career. So you can still get inspiration from other sources, of course, but as long as you are being true to yourself and not doing things because you think it's trendy, right? Or not signing because you think it's gonna put you in the limelight and you think that's success. No, you got to focus on that 20%. So I can't even finish my last point. I forgot what I was trying to say. So the thing is, when you're being authentic, you may have periods where you rise up to the surface and then dip, and rise up and dip. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to be on the surface. You're not doing antics. You're not trying to be entertaining. You're not trying to be a clown for attention. You're not being gimmicky and clickbaity, right? You're just focused on just living your life. And so you may take those dips and be completely obscure, but nobody's gonna comment, "Oh, he fell off," because you're thriving, and people just can sense that. It's not even that they know that you're thriving. It's that when you're being authentic and you're not trying to do the limelight, and you're really chasing being true to yourself, first of all, the success is gonna come. Second of all, people can see that. When you're doing things to follow trends, what's gonna happen is you're gonna become dependent on the trends, and you're gonna become like shaky, no foundation. You're gonna be on the surface, and instead of focusing on having those anchor fans, you're focusing on having those surface dweller fans that come and go just with the attention. Whatever it starts popping up in the feeds is what's going to be trending. You know what I mean? It's not even the fault of the people that's looking at it, you know? That's why there can be great music, but it doesn't have that many. It's hard to get fans, even if you're really great. Well, fans, as in like lots of views and lots of followers. Being in that limelight is just like a coincidence. But if you're being authentic, you're gonna have those 2-3 fans a month, and then maybe 100 like followers, and then 2 or 3 of them are like real fans, like checking in with you, following you on all your other social media if that's what you care about. But more importantly, like checking in with you, like intrigued, you know, not just looking, not just, oh, that's cool, you know what I mean, for the moment. So yeah, focus on that 20% fan base, which means be authentic to yourself. Don't do the thing that's gonna get you the most views. Don't sign to a label if you can do everything yourself already, because they're trying to profit off you. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna set your life up to be in the limelight. So your whole career is gonna be about commercials, basically what people call selling out. That's what happens. And it's 2020 now. We're done chasing. It's not that we were chasing clout. It's like we see through that now, okay? I want you guys to see through that and be authentic. Be low key. And you know, you might rise to the surface just by coincidence, but it doesn't matter. You don't care, because you're really just doing you. And whether you're on the surface or below the surface, just doing your thing, setting trends, and just influencing and like making music and creating, you're still thriving. And that's the point. So be authentic, be different, and find your own sound. And yeah, 20% is creating 80% of your success. So just know that 20% of your cause is creating 80% of the effect. And this can be even less or more, if that makes any sense. So like 2% could be creating 90% of your income, your success, whatever. And that applies to any part of your life. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope this was helpful. And yeah, I just wanted to make this video. I know you guys want to see beat making videos. They're gonna come. This is what I be thinking about, and I may not get as many views like I'm saying, right? Or I may actually lose subscribers. Like, oh, what is he doing? Like, where's the beat making videos? You know what I mean? But I know there's gonna be that 20% that really rocks with what I'm doing. So I want you guys to do that too. All right, whatever that means for you.